Hey guys, James here from TCGU University, come back at you with another deck profile. Today, I'm going to be doing a video on Travis's Yusuke deck. Make sure to check out the Campus Championship so you can see how the deck was in action, and let's get into it. Okay guys, Yusuke is a 7/22 with Death, Good, and Life. He has two abilities. E, once per turn, your next check to play a card. The next card you attempt to play this turn gets -1 difficulty and -1 to its block modifier for each resource symbol it shares with your character. And then enhance, you remove one card from discard pile that has the name Spirit in its card name, and your attack is this attack gets +2 damage or -2 damage. So it does really well at controlling the amount of which it tries to commit foundations by giving +2 to the check, making your last card cheaper to play, or making your last card practically free, as well as giving some damage pump and some damage negate just to try and live a little longer, especially with 22 health, one of the second biggest 7-hand size characters. You just get a lot of room to like fiddle with. I'll actually put you here. Okay, so the deck is built more of like a foundation destruction / control deck. So we're playing 4 Toguro Brothers. Toguro Brothers is a 1/4 2-mid block action that says respond after an attack is played. After a ability is played on a asset or foundation, cancel its effects and destroy it. This card's very good at getting rid of problem cards as well as just free negate that just makes sure your opponent doesn't... Make sure you're in control of the game. You tell your opponent what they can and can't do. It also has a stack that says after it resolves, you can either remove from the card pool so your progressive stays low, or you can just draw a card to replace it and try to get something else. In my opinion, it's like the best card in the game right now. Continuing on that train, we have 4 Spirit Gun. Spirit Gun now has an errata that says it's a Yusuke only card, but it is a 5/3, 5-mid for 6 with a 2-mid block. It's fast, it's strong, and it has 2 strong abilities of, as a Yusuke enhance, it can change its zone to high or low, and then you can enhance to destroy one of your opponent's foundations. This card just says, do you have a card that's going to stop my turn? Blow it up. I don't have to wait for Toguro Brothers for you to play it and respond to it. Just blow it up. I don't have to worry about it. And you just get rid of it. You just get rid of problem cards, or just put if your opponent commits things to do other things, you just make sure they have no ready foundations, and your attacks just get to go through. Next, we're going to talk about Ghost Thief Funeral. Ghost Thief Funeral is a 6-mid for 6, 5-diff, 3 control, 1 high block. Enhance, you can discard momentum, and if it's not blocked, your opponent will lose 3 vitality, and you'll draw 3 cards, so you keep that hand advantage up. And then enhance, check a 4. If your opponent is at desperation, you get to destroy one of their foundations. This card's extremely strong when your opponent's at desperation, and it's a very fast 6 damage attack that your opponent has to deal with, or you may get to draw 3 cards and burn them for 3. Then we got 2 Guiltseeker. I thought there was more, but I guess not. It is a 5-diff, 3 controlled, no block, 4 low for 4 with multiple 1 and throw. Enhance, if you have played this attack's multiple ability, you get to destroy one of your opponent's assets or foundations. So you basically get to spot destruction things as well, just like Spirit Gun. But you have to first play the multiple ability, which isn't too big of a cost for us. And then enhance, if your opponent has no assets, this attack and your next attack get +2 damage. So you basically get to buff the multiple for free, as well as getting able to use the buff from Yusuke if you get the chance. So you get to throw 2 big attacks at him. Next, we got 4 Homing Missiles. Homing Missiles is a 4/3, 3-mid for 4 with a 2-mid block. The only ability on the card has range. It's important for our next card, but first E, destroy one of your opponent's foundations. Your opponent may lose 3 vitality to cancel his effect. So either we get to burn our opponent for 3 if they want to cancel his ability, or we get to just spot destruction another card on their board, which is, like I've been saying, super strong. Keeping your opponent in the... Keeping your opponent out of the game by getting to force them into situations they don't want to be in is very good for us. Next, we'll talk about Swift Exorcism. Swift Exorcism is a not as used attack from the 7th cross set for Selinka. It is a 4/3, 5 high for 3 with a 2-mid block. Ally ranged and combo with a ranged. Combo E, remove 1 card in your opponent's staging area with a printed difficulty of X or less. X equals the number of characters in your staging area. This card can always remove a 1 diff or a 0 diff, any spam practically. Everybody plays spam because it's easier to build, sets you up for other turns. Some of them are getting very good at this time, but you just get to spot removal it, which is the same way as like destroying it, and I also explained it as like control. So you get to just make sure your opponent doesn't have a lot of good cards on their board, or just no cards at all. They'll just really play with, just by getting rid of spam and other things. Then we have 2 Red Dragon Assassin. This is the last card that kind of follows the theme of spot destruction, spot removal, that type of thing. I guess we have one more. I guess I added it to later. We'll talk about it later. But it's a 3/5 with a no block. And then its only ability, besides being unique, is E-Destroy. Destroy one of your opponent's foundations. It's just a 1-for-1. If you have a card on your opponent's field that you need to get rid of because of a play you're being forced to make, you can just get rid of it and not have to worry about your opponent canceling or anything like that. Really good card. Good one of. I think 2's a little pushing it, but we are playing like a destruction build. Okay, so on to the other cards of the deck. We're playing 3 Prepare to Fight. Prepare to Fight's a 2/5, 1 mid-block, breaker 1 action. It has 3 abilities. Respond card pool. After you block a multiple attack, you can ditch all the multiple copies from their card pool so you don't have to worry about them. And then respond card pool. After you partially block an attack, you can take no damage from it. And then enhance remove. Both players add 1 card from their staging area to their card pool. Just kind of, it's sort of the same thing as the destruction, but it's not as easy or good for you because you have to add something to your card pool, which is okay because we do get to plus our stuff for Yusuke, but it's mainly used just as a defensive tool, but sometimes the added card can really slow our opponent down. We got 1 Swordfish. Swordfish is a 3/4, 3 mid-block. The only ability we can play on this card is the Enhance. Add this card to your momentum. Add this attack to its owner's momentum. This basically just kind of gets rid of an attack we don't have to deal with. If we end up blocking, if our opponent just throws a bunch of attacks at us and we end up blocking a bunch of them, but they have 1 more and we have no cards in hand, we can just kind of just get rid of it. Or if our opponent starts loading up on an attack and we have no way to deal with it, we can just get rid of it. Just basically get rid of something we don't want to deal with. Next we have Manus and Aeus. It's a 1/5 with a no block. First form, we can shuffle up to 3 cards from our discard pile to our deck. And then Enhance Commit. Our opponent will choose 1 attack in our discard pile. And then our current attack will gain all the enhanced abilities printed on that card. It basically doubles up the abilities on our attacks and kind of forces our opponent to choose how else they want to do things. And when most of our attacks, besides the next one I'm going to talk about, say destroy a foundation, it makes it really dangerous on our opponent. The worst attack in our deck for us to choose would be homing missiles, but that's because it's a first enhance, and this would be our first enhance if we did it. But that's just the worst card. Then we have 4 Spear Shotgun. This is the last attack in our deck. It is a 5/3, 4 mid for 7 with a 2 high block with breaker 1 and ranged. So it does get to combo with our Swift Exorcism. The first enhance on the card is this attack gets +1 damage for each printed resource symbol in your on cards in your card pool that shares the symbol with our character. So basically, this gives 3 damage. Most of the other things give 1 or 2. And we just load this up with damage and then use its other ability, which is Enhance. If this attack is completely blocked, it still deals half damage rounded up. So it basically becomes a throw. It also has an Enhance to destroy 3 of our opponent's foundations at deadlock, but most of the time we won't reach deadlock, so we don't have to worry about it. But being able to have a 12, 14 damage attack that gets that has throw is pretty nice. Then we got 3 Hunt for Spires. This was the other card I was talking about that does pseudo foundation control. This is a 3/5 of the 3 low block. We mainly play it for the respond card pool. After an attack is played, flip one of your opponent's foundations and then add this to your staging area face down. This basically just says flip a problem card so we don't have to deal with it. Flip something that's going to slow us down. Flip just cards we don't want to have to deal with. It's a very good lead in to other things. It also compensates for playing for having to commit things. It does a lot of things all for us very well. Then we have 2 Dark Side of Karma. It's a 3/5 with a 1 low block. Each ability is playable while committed. Enhance remove. After enhance ability is played on a non-character, non-weapon card, it is you can cancel it. And then enhance flip. Return this attack to its printed speed. So you have a speed reset and a negate, basically. It's a very good card, especially with a 1 low block, covering those zones. Then we have 3 Guardian of the Spear Sword. It is a 2/5 with a 2 high block. Enhance once per turn. This attack gets -2 speed. If it's a weapon, it gets -3 speed instead. And then E flip, discard a card. You can add any asset from your discard pile to your hand. Sometimes you pick up assets to build them. Other times you may just pick up assets so you can block with them and live. But it has a lot of function, and it's very good for speed hate. Because we do remove cards, we have 4 Guardian's Final Duty. It's a 2/5 of the 5 high block, so you'll never block with it, ever. Enhance, remove, discard this attack. Enhance, remove, discard this attack. Only playable if you have more cards removed from game pile than your opponent. We do remove cards, so it gives us the ability to have more cards more often. But if not, we also have the other ability, which is E, discard momentum. Remove up to 5 cards in your discard pile from the game. This just allows us to fuel the other ability and then just get to basically abort an attack we don't have to deal with. 3, Kieran Soul. It's a 2/5 with a no block. Enhance, flip. This attack gets -1 speed for each character, so only -1 because we don't play a bunch of characters in our staging area. And then if we block this attack, it deals no damage. It's very good against things like shotgun and throws, but it's also very good if we ever need like just a small stat debuff. If we need a small speed hate just to be able to block one thing and sort of live, we get the option to. Then we got 3 over the top. It is a 2/5, 2 high block, practical spam basically. This card does not count progressive difficulty when you play it. So while in the card pool, it won't count towards anything. Works really well with shotgun. Enhance, add this card to your card pool. Look at the top card of your deck. Works really well with shotgun too because we can just add it to our card pool and then use shotgun to give stats. Just does a lot for us both on building and when we attack with things like shotgun. Then we have 3, Thirst for Retribution. It's a 2/5 with a 2 mid block. Enhance, flip. This attack is not blocked. Your opponent loses 3 vitality. Your opponent may destroy 1 foundation to cancel this effect. Playable while committed. This just says if we ever push our opponent to like about 3 vitality, we can force them to start destroying foundations to make sure they just don't burn to death. This just forces our opponent into a bad situation where shotgun may kill them either way, but we can sort of force their hand into it. Then we have 3, Reporting His Failures. It's a 2/5 with a 3 mid block. Enhance, remove. If you have 1 or fewer attacks in your discard pile, draw 2 cards. And then enhance, flip. Add up to 3 cards from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck. This works really well at adding attacks back so we can draw them, adding foundations back so we don't check bad. It just gives us a lot of options, both offensively and defensively. 3, Ridding the World of Outsiders. It is a 2/5 with a 3 high block. Enhance, commit. Your next attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage. And then E flip. Your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. So either we can give 1/1 now and 2/2 later, or we can give 3/3 all 2/2 now and 1/1 later on the thing. It all depends on how you want to do it. You can give 3/3 to one attack, 2/2 and 1/1 separately, but it does allow us to push a lot of damage through. Then we have 1 new Shipmate. It is a 2/5 with a 2 high block. With unique. Enhance, commit. This attack gets -2 damage and you gain vitality. Just allows us to extend our life a little bit, reduce their damage, do cool things basically. Just not dying gives us more chances to kill our opponent. So same thing with Nightmare Terrors. It's a 2/4 with a 3 low block. When we attempt to block with it, we drop the speed of the attack we're blocking to 0. Basically blocking it on this 3 or whatever else is in our card pool, obviously. But just being able to block something for free, and if like it's like a Nutcracker or Missile Launcher, where it gets a lot of damage, just getting to block that for free is great for us. Then we got 3, Conquest Terror. It is a 1/5 with a 2 low block. Enhance, commit. If your opponent is at Desperation, this attack gets +2 speed or -4 speed. Then enhance, flip. This attack gets -2 speed. So either if our opponent's at Desperation, we can give a lot more speed hate or more speed for us, or we can just regularly just flip it for -2 speed. It's a really good card, really strong. A lot of people are playing it right now. And 2 Wishing Words, our last card. It is a 0/5/3 high block. If it's discarded from our hand, we draw cards equal to the number of characters in our staging area. So we draw 1, we replace itself. Then enhance, flip. Discard the top 3 cards of our deck. Your opponent discards 1 momentum. This just slows down decks like Dark Chirito and Missile Launcher and such, just to make sure they don't have enough momentum to just like one swing us. Thanks again for checking out the profile, guys. If you want to let Travis know what you think about his Yusuke deck, down below. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/TCGU University. And as always, guys, stay learned.